Welcome to another new creature review. Today we've got a new creature double feature coming at you with two Marvel Legends Build-A-Figures. We've got Marvel Legends Warlock and Marvel Legends Onslaught. If you do not know what a Build-A-Figure is, you collect all of the figures in the wave and they give you the parts for the characters. With Warlock, you have Colossus, you have Shatterstar, Dazzler, Polaris, Cyclops, Sunfire, and Wolverine. And the numbers correspond to the pieces that you get with him. So that's with Warlock. And with Onslaught, this is actually the Red Skull Build-A-Figure. Comes with Captain America, Mockingbird, Agent Carter, Whirlwind, Cottonmouth, Demolition Man, and Taskmaster. I decided not to get Taskmaster. Instead, I picked up Kitty Pryde and decided to make him Onslaught instead of Red Skull because for some reason Kitty Pryde had a spot right here with the Magneto head. So I decided to go that direction instead. Let's check out Warlock first. Let's check out his details. I love those crazy eyes, those inset eyes. And his pulled back jaw. All the little details, that gold wash in here on the black looks amazing. And like all of these little dreadlocks, these technological wire looking dreadlocks. All of his body paneling. It looks very functional. This guy has a lot going on and it's so nice to look at. Check out his arms. So much gold, so much black. It looks really nice with that fist. Very cool, very cool. You can see in his abdominal area, you got all sorts of wires and boards and chips and little pieces. This little spine right there looks like grating. You have little access panels right there. More of his spine. Yeah. His legs, his kneecaps look really cool. Very functional too. Functional kneecap. You can slam that into the side of a bad guy's head. Wham! Then this paneling right here. All the gold wash on the inside of the panel lining. Looks really good. Like right down to his feet. Sheesh. Every last inch of this guy is just covered in detail. It's incredible. Let's check out his articulation. His head is on a ball joint. And he has really good range. Let's see. You can look down that far. You can look up that far. Even with his molded hair, you can look up. Straight up. That's cool. His shoulder is on a nice clicky ratchet. And his shoulder is also on a hinge. You can go up that far. He has a bicep swivel at the top, double jointed elbow, and it can close up that far. He has wrist articulation, but because it's inset, there's not much going on there. He can wiggle it a little bit, just up and down like this. Same with this hand right here. This is the action hand. It's nice and open, very dynamic. He has an ab crunch. He can lean that far back. Oh, so clicky. And he can go that far forward. He does not have a waist swivel, but he does swivel at the top. So that's perfect. He can go all the way around, and it's on a soft ratchet. His legs are on ball joints. He can go out that far. He can kick that far forward. Ooh, that far back. So he can do a forward split just fine. Ooh. And he has a bicep swivel. Not bicep, thigh swivel. And these come off pretty easily because this was a Build-A-Figure piece and it clips onto this right there, just like that. And it's secure until the next time I decide to spin it around in the 360. His knee is on a double joint and it can close up that tight. So it's very good. His foot is on a ratchet. You can go up that far and down that far, and there is a tilt. He's kind of wobbly because he's so tall and his knees are kind of weak, but once he's standing, he's standing. He's not going to fall over off of your shelf. So, let's see. And he has an accessory. He has a saw hand. And I think you're supposed to take off this hand and it just goes right in there like this. The saw spins this way, so the teeth need to grab in that way. That's how you know which way it's supposed to go. Catch, catch, catch. Now, you might have noticed that I did not connect these because when they connect right here, and when you connect them, it doesn't allow his arm to move like nearly as much as he can like this. I saw another reviewer drill a hole right here and just gluing this guy right into there, and that looks good. I'm probably going to end up doing that or something similar. I might actually go a little bit lower instead of getting right on the swivel joint right there, right at the seam. Yeah. So that is Warlock. Let's check out Onslaught. Now, I only got this guy because he was his wave was actually on sale at a really good price at the Toys R Us when they were closing, when they were going out of business. So when I saw them, I got most of this guy, and then I had to hunt around for 3 more folks. My friend Adam actually picked up Kitty Pryde for me, so shout out to Adam. Thank you for picking that up for me. And I was able to complete it this way. I did not want to have a red skull that looked like Magneto. I know the backstory to this whole thing, how they squashed their brains together and all that stuff, but you know what? I wanted Onslaught. I wanted this Magneto-looking monster right here. He looks so cool. His gauntlets, his little action hands here with the pointed fingers, his shoulder pads, his coat tails. Then you have these little details right here that kind of look like they kind of move for his muscles. kind of that functional look. His chest plate and his abs looks all nice like that, all nice and polished. Got his muscular armored legs, look really cool. His boots, yeah, pointy knee. You got these little jointed pieces right here. That looks cool. Looks really cool. Now, my first exposure to this guy was, I believe, one of the Street Fighter games. Is it Street Fighter versus X-Men? Or Marvel versus Capcom? One of those. But I remember this guy coming out like, he's just like, I'm gonna own you. And then he like shoots stuff out of his hands. But it's more like this. He just stands sideways. It's like, ha! Yeah. Let's check out his articulation. His head is on a ball joint, but he has this gigantic collar. So we've got left and right, but no up and down. A little bit down. Then we have his shoulder pads, which are just tabbed in right there. They do limit his motion, but come on, it's Magneto. If he needs something to move, he'll just move it with a piece of metal and his mind. So he's all right. He's good, folks. So his arm is on a ratchet swivel. Goes back and forward. Goes back that far. Goes forward that far. There is a bicep swivel. It doesn't quite go all the way around, but you don't really need it to because arms don't do that. He has a single jointed elbow that's ratcheted. And it only goes about that far on both sides. So, and then they straighten out. His wrist is on a swivel and a hinge. Can't go down very far, but it can go up. And the gauntlets actually are a separate piece that spin around with the wrist. So that's really nice. I wish they'd do that more with the bigger figures that have gauntlets. Infinity gauntlets. Talking about you, movie Thanos. Alright. He has an ab crunch, but it doesn't do much. So he can double over like that, and he can lean back like that. His cape thing doesn't hinder it too much. I mean, if we take it off, he might be able to go back a little bit more, but it's all right. We'll put that back on. There we go. He does not have a waist swivel. That's all right. He's got rotation at the diaphragm ball joint there. His hips are on ball joints, but he doesn't go out very far at all. He doesn't need to. He can kick out that far forward, that far back, and his knee is on a double hinge. See that? So that's pretty cool. And his his foot is on hinge. You can go that far down, that far up, and there is a rocker in there, but it is kind of hindered by these ankle bolts right here. Now, I've heard complaints about this guy. He's a little older, so he's been reviewed before. That's why I did a double feature. These guys are kind of old. But this guy, they complain about his range, but it's Onslaught. All he has to do is just kind of levitate into the room and then make every piece of metal fly at his enemy, and he's done. All he has to do is walk around like this, or float around like this. Are you made of metal? Yeah. You know, it's like it's easy. He's done. He doesn't even need these muscles. But there they are. He's tough, he's menacing, he looks great. So does Warlock. Warlock looks like he jumped right out of the comic book pages with that crazy looking face. Oh boy, man, that brings back memories. Oh boy. Okay, stand up, dude. Alright, let's do a few size comparisons and wrap this up. Here is Ultimate Spider-Man. And Scrooge McDuck from Fat Mojo. Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. Speaking of enemies that are made of all metal. The Last Night Nitro Zeus. Studio Series Bumblebee. Dr. Octopus. And San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Optimus Primal. Alright, that's it for my review. Tell me what you think of these guys in the comments below. Do you collect Build-A-Figures? What do you think of Build-A-Figures in general? Personally, I'd rather just pay a premium and buy the bigger figures rather than collecting an entire wave of characters that I potentially don't know. Thankfully, I knew most of the characters on this guy, and this guy was... his characters were on sale enough to where I could justify buying 3 or 4 of them and not really having to worry. And they ended up being really nice figures. So yeah, let me know what you think. Go ahead and take a look at my Instagram. There will be a link in the description below, as well as a link to my Facebook page. If you like this review, give me a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you can see when I put up new videos. And thanks for watching.